Hey everyone, REDyTay here, back at it with another solo Pokemon challenge. Scizor might not have been that exotic or exciting when it came to our moveset or fighting style, but it was definitely a hard hitter that benefited from its defensive steel typing.
Well, we're switching things up completely by using the fragile pure fire type, Ponyta.
I say fragile because just look at these stats. Defense and HP are the weakest parts of Ponyta's stats, which isn't great considering its base total is only 410. That's a little better than the starters, but let's be honest, not by much. Since this is Generation 1, there is no special split, so having a special stat of 65 is a little better, but again, not by much. Obviously the best thing Ponyta has going for it is its speed, followed closely by its regular attack. This ultimately means we'll need to be fast and hit hard to win most of these battles. So let's see what we have when it comes to dealing damage. Well, you can tell this is a Pokemon that you weren't meant to use much until later in the game. We start with Ember, but we don't learn another move until level 30, and that's Tail Whip. Stomp will be a necessity, and Fire Spin could be annoying for our opponents, but seriously, Growl and Tail Whip are learned moves in the level 30s. At least we have some TMs we can learn, but this is still an underwhelming list. The only fire move we can learn here is Fire Blast. That's right, Ponyta can't learn Flamethrower in this generation. This might be brutal, especially at the start, considering we are weak to Rock, Ground, and Water types, which make up the beginning of this run. This is probably going to be a lot like my Vulpix run. This generation is just not that friendly for fire types. But first, the rules. I can only use Ponyta throughout the whole run. I can still use other Pokemon for HM so we can get around, but no glitches, cheats, or hacks can be used to advance. Additionally, no items can be used in battle. As I mentioned, this run is going to be horrible at the start, but hopefully after we get past that, we might be able to coast a little bit until the end. So let's get going. We have a lot of grinding to do to beat Brock. Okay, let's start by getting Ponyta from Professor Oak. I used the Pokemon randomizer so that our rival will have Squirtle as a starter, since that is easily the most threatening starter in the game. Stat wise, we are pretty even, but it's nice to have attack and speed tied for the highest stats. I hope we land a lot of crits in this run. I am already dreading a large portion of this run with only Ember, but we don't really have a choice. This is a challenge, so we need to accept it and get moving. I nicknamed Ponyta Peyton since, well, I think this challenge kind of speaks for itself. For the record, I planned on doing this challenge as soon as I reached 18 subscribers, so it could be a tribute to the sheriff himself. I know a lot of you might not care about this random football reference, and I know 18 subscribers is not really a number to celebrate, but hey, I still think this channel is young. We are growing slowly but surely, and I appreciate the views and comments and interactions I've gotten from all of you. Thanks for watching and saying hey, and if you're new to the challenge and you like what you see, please subscribe. Okay, enough pleading for subscribers. Let's see how our first rival battle goes. We win, but barely. Now, when I say barely, sure, we aren't in low health at the end, but this battle could have easily been a loss instead of a win. We're just spamming Ember because that's the only move we have at the moment in our disposal. But as we all know, Ember is not a good move against a water type, and Squirtle's tackle hits pretty hard thanks to Tail Whip. I thought we would easily be outpaced by our opponent due to our differing damage output, but Squirtle doesn't really attack a lot. It likes to use Tail Whip instead of attacking, and I was waiting for another tackle to land, but it doesn't really happen, so we just take it down. That could have easily been a loss, but the AI at the beginning of the game does go easy on you most of the time, so I'm going to take that as a win. That being said, I am not going to go straight to the second battle with our rival. We obviously need to start gaining a level lead, and yes, I hate saying that this early in the game. Our rival Squirtle resists our fire moves, and Brock, the first gym leader, is already a problem with his rock and ground types. Is there really a silver lining to starting like this? Well, Viridian Forest is really easy to get through, and it is a great place to gain some experience early in the run. I might have gone a little overboard before facing a rival again because we are going into battle at level 12. Pidgey does go down to 3 Embers and doesn't use a single sand attack. Sure, we lose some health from Gust, but I'll take that if it means we don't lose accuracy. Squirtle's tackle isn't doing as much as it did previously, and Tail Whip failed, so that's good. Ember is hitting a little harder in this battle, but it's still not great. However, it is nice that Bubble isn't doing much better despite being super effective. We are taking these hits well enough, and before long, Squirtle soon goes down from Ember. Are we ready for Brock? Well, things are going smoothly against Brock's Geodude. It hits with 2 tackles and wastes some turns using Defense Curl, which is pointless since we're hitting its special defense. There isn't much to talk about in these early battles since all we can do in each turn is use Ember. It's not an effective move here, but it does deal damage and eventually Geodude goes down. We follow the same plan against Onix. We both land a critical hit when this part of the battle starts. We got really lucky with that considering that soon after Onix starts using Bide. We can't use a non-damaging move to negate his Bide, so we just try our best to take Onix down with Ember in the next few turns. When the turn comes for Onix to unleash his Bide, we manage to hit it with one more Ember to knock it out. We could have easily lost that battle if it wasn't for our current level and the luck we had in landing a critical hit right out of the gate. I will take this smooth start. Mount Moon isn't going badly, except we have to use an escape rope to go back to the Pokemon Center since we ran out of power points for Ember. But we only had to do that once. One weird thing I noticed is that the Team Rocket Grunt we are using for the Mew Glitch Challenge I started along with this challenge actually won't attack us like he does in the Glitch Challenge. This means we won't be able to use this glitch here in the game, and I have never noticed that. I wonder if that is a legitimate difference in the color versions. Anyway, before you know it, we are grabbing the Dome Fossil and getting ready to fight our rival Nugget Bridge. I'm not even going to attempt battling Misty at this level. What we really need right now is another move that isn't a fire move. So it might be obvious because I often use this move, but let's get the team for Body Slam. The only problem is that's on the SS and we can only get on it if we have the ticket from Bill, which means we have to get to Bill, which means we need to battle our rival. So let's get going. Things are not looking good at the start. We take down Pidgeotto with 4 Embers, but that means we endure 3 turns of damage from Gust and Quick Attack. Abra can hurt us, so that part's easy. REDyTay isn't as defensively tanky as Pidgeotto, so Ember takes it out in half the turns. However, a critical hit tackle from it is not ideal, especially with Squirtle coming out next. Ember is, of course, lackluster against Squirtle, but the second Ember is a critical hit, which gives me hope. Unfortunately, that hope is short-lived because the very next turn Squirtle uses Water Gun and easily knocks us out. Let's give this another go. The second attempt actually starts off worse than the first, despite needing only 3 Embers to take out Pidgeotto. Critical hits are really putting us in a tight spot. Abra and REDyTay are still not really a threat, but we are in an even worse position than last time when it comes to battling Squirtle, so it's no surprise that we can't win here. My current plan is to battle the trainers in Misty's gym, and even though we are weak to them, we are actually doing pretty well. The experience we gain here is nice, but it's not enough to level up significantly, so I grind against wild Pokemon until Peyton reaches level 25. From here, the rival battle goes much smoother. Pidgeotto goes down to 2 Embers, and same goes for Abra, and REDyTay is defeated with just 1 Ember. Now we face the real test, which is Squirtle. Ember is doing alright, and Tail Whip doesn't scare me since it doesn't make us more susceptible to Squirtle's water moves. Another Ember takes Squirtle to a little below half health. Bubble isn't as scary as it was earlier, and we're still in a good spot. Squirtle does land a critical hit tackle, but this makes its previous Tail Whip useless since critical hits bypass stat changes. Anyway, Squirtle goes down soon after that, and we can now progress. It shouldn't come as a surprise that I'm sticking with my plan of visiting Bill first so we can go straight to the SS and before battling Misty. I feel pretty confident in saying that we are not ready to face her water team. Of course, I'm grabbing the team for Body Slam while we're on the ship, and doing the storyline in this order means our next big fight is against our rival, whom we just managed to beat less than half an hour ago. Oh yeah, and we're now 9 levels stronger, having faced a lot of trainers since we last saw him. Also, since we are now in the low 30s level-wise, we are finally learning new moves from our moveset. One of them is Tail Whip, which is ridiculous to learn at this level, but Stomp is a good counterpart to the Body Slam we just learned. Our rival starts with Pidgeotto, which is easy to take down with 2 Embers. REDyTay deals some damage with Hyper Fang, but 2 Embers are too much for it as well. Kadabra needs 3 Embers, and burning it was nice, but it never really did anything to us. Now we are facing Wartortle for the first time, but we have Body Slam, which hits like a freight train. Our rival cheats with a retroactive potion, but that still is enough for Wartortle to survive the next turn with a Stomp. Okay, we should be strong enough to beat Misty now. Let's give this a go. Oh yeah, we went overboard with the grinding here. Staryu got one shot by Stomp, Starmie lost over half its health from Stomp. Misty uses an X Defend, which allowed Starmie to survive another Stomp, but it also flinched, meaning one more Stomp knocked it out. a flawless victory against the water gym. That could only happen because we're so overprepared for this. I know it might make the challenge seem a little boring, but don't worry, we have other obstacles coming up that we still need to worry about. Lieutenant Surge though is not one of them. There's not much to report here. We just spammed Ember the whole time, although looking back, we should have used some Body Slam since Paralyzed and Electric Pokemon would have been some funny karma. But when Surge wasted turns using X-Speed and Growl, it was really easy to finish this whole team. Plus, Pikachu was a one-shot. The mascot never had a chance. Well, now we have to go through Rock Tunnel, which is tedious but not terrible. We only got hit by one self-destruct, and while Body Slam and Stomp aren't the most effective moves, we're holding our own better than previous challenges. We're lucky to have some healing items on hand. Also at this point, we learned Fire Spin. I'm not the biggest fan of this move, but I haven't used Tail Whip once in this whole challenge, so we replaced Tail Whip with Fire Spin. We actually came close to needing a new move because we were running out of attacking moves by the end of Rock Tunnel, so we were cutting it kind of close here. All of this means we are gearing up for another rival fight. This challenge feels like one of those runs where every turn involves a rival battle. This one though is also kind of boring. We have a major advantage with our level lead. Pidgeotto, Execute, and Wartortle go down in 2 attacks, while Growlithe and Kadabra are both one-shots. Our first attempt at using Fire Spin in this game misses, but the second one lands and deals over 2/3 of Execute's health and damage. Anyway, yeah, this was a boring fight. The same could also be said about Erica, but you were expecting that, right? It's not a bunch of one-shots with Ember or Fire Spin, except for Tangela, but even with Peyton getting poisoned by Victory Belt, we were never in a dangerous spot. It was a real quick fight. Which means we need to take care of the Team Rocket at the Game Corner portion of the storyline. Things aren't going very smoothly though. For some reason, I'm getting more lost in the mazes on the lower levels than I usually do. I can't pick up items here because I forgot to empty my pack before diving in, and before fighting Giovanni, Peyton gets poisoned by a random Rocket Grunt. All the random items in my pack, I don't have an antidote or a full heal or another healing item to take care of it. I'm a little worried if we can beat Giovanni's team in the state, but let's give this a go. We don't take poison damage if we one-shot a Pokemon, but the problem is we don't really have any moves that do that. At least Ember still hits pretty hard despite not being super effective. Rock Throw is already scaring me though. Another Ember takes out Onix, and with that we level up and get a little extra health. That helps somewhat. We face the same issue against Rhyhorn next. Body Slam is a critical hit, but it's not a one-shot. We take a bit of poison damage, but we quickly take Rhyhorn out with no additional damage thanks to Giovanni wasting a guard spec. Now we just need to take care of Kangaskhan. Body Slam does about the same damage here as it did against Rhyhorn the first time we used it. Kangaskhan's Bite and the fallen poison damage take us down to 1 health. Oh geez, please don't miss Body Slam. Okay, we won. Now I do have to be honest here so there's no confusion in this challenge. We beat Giovanni and we now have the Self Scope, but as soon as we take a couple steps, Peyton will faint. We won't white out since we have a Bellsprout for cut that will still be at full health in the party, so Ponyta will be down, but since we won't be fighting any other battles, we'll go back to the Pokemon Center and heal up like nothing happened. To be fair, we would have healed up the same way if we did white out. The only difference is that we would be without a good chunk of our money. I don't know, maybe it's not a big deal. I just don't want you, the viewer, to think I cheated at any point of this challenge. Anyway, after we healed up and go through Pokemon Tower, we get the Pokeflute.
Battling the channelers is easy here.
We can only use half of our moves at this point, but our fire moves still wrap things up pretty quickly. And the Team Rocket Grunts aren't worth mentioning either. So onward to facing Koga. I'm skipping trainers on the bike route because I feel like we're gaining too much of a level lead. That being said, I don't think Koga is going to be an easy win. His Pokemon are tanky, and things will get tricky if we get poisoned by Toxic. Also, it's becoming apparent that our opponent's levels are getting closer to Peyton's with this battle. Koga's first Coughing goes down to about half health from a Body Slam. It just hits Peyton with a weak tackle, so we soon take it out. Muck on the other hand is more defensively structured, so a Body Slam only does about 1/3 of its health and damage. Luckily though, Muck doesn't do anything to us. Koga wastes the turn using an X attack and a failed disable. We stick with Body Slam and take Muck down soon after. Koga's second Coughing goes down similarly to the first one, and all we have to do now is take down Koga's second defensive juggernaut, Weezing. Body Slam is only doing about 1/4 of its health and damage, but we don't get poisoned by Smog, so there's that. Koga then goes back to spamming X attack while we stick with Body Slam. Yeah, Koga, you can't win a battle like that. Okay, Silphico time, which means time for another rival battle coming right up. It's another quick trip to get there. I still got a little sidetracked trying to remember the portals, but we don't really face any of the Team Rocket grunts while we make our way to the rival. We hit Pidgeot with a critical hit body slam, and it hits us with a critical hit wing attack. We're clearly doing better when it comes to damage output, so a quick stomp knocks it out. Body slam is another critical hit, this time one-shotting Growlithe. Execute loses a lot of health from an Ember, and fortunately we dodge its Stun Spore. Another Ember takes it out. Alakazam can't handle a body slam and goes down easily from there. Blastoise is last and body slam is doing alright. Blastoise soon raises its defense with withdrawal, but body slam is still hitting well after that. The added paralysis is nice too. Blastoise responds with a water gun, and I really thought it'd use a stronger water move against us. It doesn't really matter though, because our next stomp is a critical hit and it wraps up the battle. Giovanni isn't really putting up much of a fight either. Nidorino goes down to a single body slam. Another couple of body slams take down Kangaskhan. That attack though loses its power against Rhyhorn. It attacks with its own stomp, but it's not very threatening. It also helps that Giovanni wastes turns with Guard Spec. Eventually we knock Rhyhorn out with a stomp of our own. Nidoqueen is last and we're still sticking with body slam. All Nidoqueen does is use a weak poison sting and receive a Guard Spec from Giovanni. Another stomp and the battle is done. Well, now that we have Silphico all sorted, let's see if we can get another gym badge by fighting Sabrina. This shouldn't be that bad of a battle since we have some good physical attacks and Sabrina's team doesn't exactly have the best defense. Case in point, Kadabra is one shot by a body slam. Same thing with Mr. Mime, except this time it's a critical hit stomp. Venomoth survives Ember even though it was a critical hit. Its side beam hardly does anything, so we take it down with another Ember. All that is left is Alakazam, and we almost one-shot it with Body Slam. It's now paralyzed as well, and heals up some with Recover. Stomp comes really close to knocking it out, but Alakazam is still hanging on by a sliver. We get lucky when it flinches, giving us another chance to knock it out with a Stomp. Okay, now it's time to fight fire with fire against Blaine. Body Slam almost knocks out Growlithe, its Leer misses, and Stomp makes short work of it. Now it's a Ponyta versus Ponyta mirror match. Not much to see here though, it goes down just like Growlithe, except this time we do have our defense lowered from a Tail Whip. Rapidash is next, Peyton's fully evolved form. Body Slam hits surprisingly hard against it, I honestly wasn't expecting that. Rapidash is paralyzed too, so things went really well in that turn. It wasted turn using Growl, well maybe it wasn't a waste since our Stomp doesn't take Rapidash out. We then go back and forth with Stomps, but Rapidash doesn't last long and soon goes down. Finally for Blaine there's Arcanine, and our Body Slam is doing about what I expected against Rapidash. Blaine heals up with a retroactive Super Potion, so we are back to square one. Still sticking with Body Slam though, and we are still getting good paralysis luck thanks to the next one landing. Actually, we're just having good luck in general. Arcanine's takedown misses and our Stomp lands as a critical hit, and Arcanine then flinches from another Stomp, leading to us quickly ending this battle in the next turn. I feel like we've been knocking out these last two gyms quickly back to back. Let's see if we can keep this momentum going and wrap up our badge run with a quick battle against Giovanni. Well, Body Slam isn't doing as much damage against Rhyhorn. The added paralysis is nice though. I switched to having Ponyta use Stomp for some possible flinching, but it doesn't really happen. So I switched to using Ember to see how much damage that does. It does a little better, so we stick with spamming that until Rhyhorn goes down. Dugtrio's next, but due to its low defense and health, it faints easily from a Body Slam. Nidoqueen gets hit by a medley of Body Slam, Ember, and Stomp before going down. The Body Slam it hits us with does a sizable chunk of damage, but we are not paralyzed, so we are still looking good. Nidoking goes down to 2 Body Slams and a Stomp, but not before hitting us with a critical hit Poison Sting. We get lucky again, not getting a status condition, but we are still in a tight spot with only 39 health left. Luckily, we just have to deal with Rhydon, but we are running low on Body Slams. I didn't heal up from fighting the other trainers at the gym before facing Giovanni, so we are low on power points. We soon exhaust our Body Slams and spam Stomp from there. Rhydon is still standing with about half of its health at this point, but luckily for us, Rhydon basically just doesn't fight us. Giovanni does his classic moves by wasting turns using Guard Spec and having Rhydon spam Fissure. Yeah, that move can't hit us here in battle due to the fact that Peyton is faster than Rhydon. Yeah, that move is completely useless in these situations because it's really speed dependent. And Giovanni is almost throwing the fight for us while we just whittle away at Rhydon with Stomp. It soon goes down, and we now have all the badges needed to face the Elite Four. The only thing standing in our way to get to the Elite Four is another rival battle. Pidgeot is out first as always and takes a critical hit body slam. We take a little damage and finish it off with a stomp. Rhyhorn just hits us with a weak Fury attack once it comes out. It takes us a while to lower its health with body slam, but once we do, we finish it off with stomp. One body slam and stomp take care of Growlithe, but not before our rival heals it up with a retroactive potion.
After that, there's Execute, which we just spam with Fire Spin to take it out.
Second to last is Alakazam, which I was hoping Body Slam would make short work of, but unfortunately it survives with about a quarter of its health remaining, giving it a chance to hit us with a strong Psychic. Oh, and a Special Drop. Great. We knock out Alakazam the next turn, but we are in a really bad spot against Blastoise. We manage to paralyze it when it comes out thanks to a Body Slam, but of course we can't survive a Hydro Pump and we go down. Initially I thought that loss was just a fluke incident. We just had some bad luck with getting hit by that Psychic. We can easily win this, right? Well, apparently not. I tried this battle many times and we went down in all of them. The problem ultimately comes down to taking damage from multiple members of our rival's team, and from there we usually easily go down from Blastoise's Hydro Pump. Also, getting paralyzed from Execute's Stun Spore really hampers us as well. We could grind, but I decided to try one more thing before going that route. What we need is a stronger fire move, something that hits harder than Ember or Fire Spin and it's still stab. It's funny because Ponyta is clearly more of a physical attacker than a special one. It's really weird that this Pokemon can't learn Flamethrower in this game, but since it can't, we only have one fire move at our disposal: Fire Blast. This isn't exactly my favorite move because it's a bit of a liability due to its accuracy not being the best, but when it does hit, it's the strongest fire move in the game. So how are we doing with our new move? Well, our first Fire Blast in the game misses. When it does hit though, it does a lot of damage, but Pidgeot is still standing. It is burned though. Okay, let's finish this with a Stomp. Fire Blast also doesn't take down Rhyhorn in one shot. A rival healed it up with a potion, we fall short of taking it out with a Body Slam, take some damage from Fury attack, and then knock it out with Stomp. I thought we would finally get a one shot in this battle, but Growlithe hangs on with what has to be 1 health from our Body Slam. Oh well, let's use Stomp for another knockout. Well, there's our one shot with Execute. We use Fire Blast obviously. Alakazam isn't a one shot, but since we can cause it to flinch with Stomp, we take it out quickly the next turn. So now we are at least a little above half health when we face Blastoise. A couple of Body Slams take it to half health, with the second one causing paralysis. Despite Stomp dealing less damage thanks to Blastoise's withdrawal during those turns, we switch to it hoping for some good paralysis or flinch luck. We get perfect flinch luck with the next 2 stomps, and the third one is a critical hit, finally giving us the win. Now we have to assess our situation against the Elite Four as we make our way through Victor Road. Obviously the big problems will be Lorelei and a rival at the end. I swear one of these days I will land on a challenge where Lorelei will not be our biggest obstacle at the end of the game. But yeah, her party is 70% water and just tanky enough that it'll be hard to finish them off quickly. I feel like the rest of the Elite Four is just kind of there. We don't really have any type advantages against them really, but at the same time we aren't really weak to them either. Our rival will be difficult at the end because his team was tough just now, and they will be at their top form the next time we see them. By the time we get to Elite Four, we are a couple levels below 60, so I grind Peyton to level 60, and from there we are looking pretty good. This whole run we have had matching attack and speed. There's never once been a time in the game where they've been different. I'm not thrilled about the fact that our defense is still in the double digits, but give Peyton a couple more levels while we battle and we will get there. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a little rough doing this challenge with a fire Pokemon that is weaker on the special side compared to its physical stats, but this is a challenge after all. Let's see how far we can get at level 60. Yeah, things are not going well. We can't take down Dugong or any of Lorelei's team really quickly enough, which means we're taking more damage than we should be taking. Moves like Takedown don't do a whole lot to us, but even small moves like that add up when moves like Clamp or Hydro Pump hit. Also, it feels like critical hits are not in our favor in some of these attempts. Like I said, I've given this several tries, clearly not getting anywhere near a win. We can reach Lapras in some of these attempts, but we are nowhere near healthy enough to win from there. We got a lot of rare candies in this run, so I cut to the chase and see if things look better at level 65. Things are looking better with level increase, but not by much. When it really comes down to it, we are still not ready to win this yet. Let's grind to a higher level then. Let's go for level 70. The first attempt at level 70 showed a marked increase in attack output, but when it really comes down to it, we're still in the perfect spot to be destroyed by Lapras's Hydro Pump. Second attempt starts off well, almost taking Dewgong down with 2 body slams. The only problem is it uses Growl, which allows it to hang on with a sliver before it uses Rest to heal up. Luckily though, our second critical hit Stomp knocks it out while Dewgong was still asleep. Cloyster's next, and even though Fire Blast is not effective, it proves to be the move of choice to take it out quickly. We discovered this about 10 levels ago because Cloyster has the best defense in the game, but not the best special stat. Considering its clamp can absolutely demolish us, it's best to hit it with your best special stab attack. Anyway, Slowbro is still a tanky nuisance, especially with withdrawal spamming. Body Slam still works, but it would be great if it actually paralyzes. Eventually it does, and from there we spam Stomp. It's not really doing much, but flinching and paralysis luck is crucial because Slowbro is now going on the offensive with Water Gun. The Super Potion healing is annoying too. By the end, we spam Body Slam because it hits harder and a critical hit takes it out, but we only have 19 health remaining. At least Fire Spin really helps in limiting Jinx. When that ends, a Body Slam is more than enough to take it out. Now we're in a really tough spot with Lapras out. I know we need some extreme luck with Body Slam paralyzing or Stomp flinching, but we really can't risk it. We go for the Hail Mary by using Fire Blast, and it's a critical hit one-shot. That was extremely lucky, but hey, that's a win. I'm hoping Bruno is more manageable to defeat. Fire Blast continues to save us by one-shotting the opening Onix. Hitmonchan survives a Body Slam, but Bruno wastes a turn by using an X-Defend. So a critical hit Stomp quickly removes it from the battle. Sticking with Stomp when Hitmonlee comes out, it does about the same amount of damage as Body Slam did last time. Bruno wastes another turn as Hitmonlee uses Focus Energy, so another Stomp equals another knockout. The second Onix is next, but it also can't withstand a single Fire Blast. Now we just have to deal with Machamp. Body Slam takes it to half health, and Bruno wastes another turn by using Fissure, which can hit us, so we use another Stomp for another critical hit finish. That was an easy fight. It was such an easy fight that I went into the Agatha battle without healing up power points. And this is the one battle where we should have done that. Considering we only have 2 attacks to take care of over half of our team, how did this battle go in this situation? Horrible, I'm not gonna lie. We were basically relying solely on Fire Spin here since we hadn't used it much against the Elite Four so far. There were a few problems with that. The move missed more than it should, it didn't do much damage wise, and despite the description claiming the opponent can't move, Agatha switches her Pokemon out a lot, causing them to escape and forcing us to reset Fire Spin all over again. To add insult to injury, if we got confused from Confuse Ray, we were in a really tight spot. Don't get me wrong, we used normal type attacks against Golbat and Arbok, but with her actual ghosts, we couldn't take them down quickly. We got close to winning the battle, but by the end, we ran out of fire moves, leaving us with only normal attacks. Even if we resort to struggle, that attack is also normal, so we couldn't land a damaging move on our team regardless. So basically, that's a loss. So how did things look if we get our power points healed up before the battle instead? Well, Fire Blast hits hard, but it doesn't knock out the first Gengar. Getting confused from Confuse Ray is not ideal, especially since we are taking damage from the status condition. Nightshade is also really dangerous here. We are already down 67 health and haven't even taken down the first Pokemon in Agatha's team. Oh, now it's down to 31 health after Golbat got switched out for Gengar again. Since it wasted a turn with Haze, we were able to take it down quickly with 2 Body Slams. The first Gengar is back and taking damage from Fire Spin. Agatha proves to be very annoying as she heals it up with a Super Potion just before we are about to finish it off, and then withdraws it again to send out Haunter. It survives a Fire Blast, but it's now burned, which is great. Too bad a Nightshade easily knocks Peyton out. The next rematch is going better with Fire Spin not missing, and although it's not hitting hard, the damage is stacking up. Of course, eventually the move does miss and we get confused from Confuse Ray. We have really good luck not hurting ourselves from confusion, and besides getting hit by 1 Nightshade, we are lucky to land Fire Spin for the remainder of this exchange to take Gengar out. Golbat is next, but a critical hit Body Slam quickly takes it out. Haunter is now out, and our Fire Blast misses, but so does its Hypnosis. The next Fire Blast does land, and it is a critical hit. That's a one-shot, and things are looking great compared to our last run. Arbok is next, and Stomp is doing well here. We do get hit by a critical hit Acid, but we are still in good spot when we take Arbok out with another Stomp.
The stronger Gengars last out. Fire Blast takes out about 2/3 of its health and burns it, so this is a great start against it. That being said, Nightshade is scary, as another hit will knock us out. It gets really scary when our next Fire Blast misses, but we can breathe a little bit easier when Gengar misses its Toxic. That's a huge break, but that's still very tense. With one more Fire Blast at our disposal, luckily, it lands, giving us a very stressful win. Well, if Agatha is that tough, I'm not so sure we're ready for Lance, but we don't really have a choice. Let's jump in and see if I'm overreacting. Right out of the gate is Gyarados, and our Body Slam paralyzes it and brings it to half health. Despite that great start, its opening Hydro Pump hits us hard, and we're immediately down to 38 health. Our next Body Slam doesn't take Gyarados out, oof, so close, but we're still in this thanks to Gyarados missing its next Hydro Pump. Okay, a quick stop removes this threat from us. The first Dragonair is next, and Body Slam is performing much better here. Lance wastes a turn using a retroactive Hyper Potion, the next Body Slam paralyzes it, and Dragonair uses Agility, so we just finish it off with a Stomp. Another Dragonair, another Body Slam. This Dragonair though immediately attacks us with Dragon Rage. Yep, we're still standing with only 1 health left. At least Dragonair soon goes down to Stomp. Aerodactyl almost goes down from a critical hit Fire Blast, and Lance uses another retroactive Hyper Potion. I decide to weaken Aerodactyl with Stomp for a possible flinch before hitting it with another Fire Blast. It doesn't flinch, and of course, you can't survive a Hyper Beam at 1 health, so yeah, we go down. Rematch time, but you wouldn't know that since we are already at 39 health from Gyarados' Hydro Pump. Thanks to it missing the second one though, we can take it out with another Body Slam and Stomp. First Dragonair again, but our Body Slam paralyzes it right out of the gate. Dragon Rage takes us down to 2 health. A win just doesn't seem possible here, guys. Stomp takes Dragonair out though, so at least there's that. Another Dragonair, another Body Slam, another Paralysis. Dragonair still manages to attack next turn, but Lance just uses Agility. What the heck, man? Just finish the fight. Fine, I'll finish Dragonair with another Stomp. Aerodactyl's next, and surely this was the end. But we know better from our last attempt against this guy, so we open with Stomp. It flinches too, so that's great. Fire Blast still doesn't take it out though, but Aerodactyl uses Super Sonic. Lance, just put us out of our misery here. Body Slam though takes Aerodactyl out instead. Okay, Dragonite time. First time seeing it in this challenge. Fire Blast only takes about 1/4 of its health. I know it wasn't going to be a one shot, but come on man, that little damage? At least it got burned, but a decreased attack stat from that stats condition is not going to help us. Lance's AI is so frustrating at this point. I know he likes using Agility because he thinks it's a good psychic move, but geez, the AI has to factor in that you only need to deal 2 damage for Lance to win this fight. It doesn't take a lot of Agilities for Dragonite to be faster than us, and at least Body Slam did a good amount of damage here. Finally, Dragonite attacks only for it to miss its Slam. Wait, can we actually win this? Holy crap, yes we can! Burn damage and Stomp give us the win. What are the odds? Lance could have destroyed us at any point, but the Gen 1 AI saved us here. That was the closest, most stressful one I've ever had in any challenge. Okay, oh man. I don't know if we're ready for a rival, but I'm riding a wave of adrenaline from that Lance win, so let's jump in. Pidgeot gets hit by Fire Blast, which originally wasn't the move I was planning on using, but Pidgeot just uses Mirror Move, so we hardly take any damage from its Fire Blast. Yeah, Stomp soon takes it out. Alakazam can't handle a single Body Slam, so that's good. Rhydon loses a little over half of its health from a Fire Blast, messes up a Tail Whip, takes some damage from Body Slam. Rhydon keeps wanting to lower defense while we just spam Body Slam, and in the end, it goes down from a Stomp. We take no damage from it. Also, we hit level 73 here, so the defense drops are gone. Way to go, rival. Arcanine can still be scary, but a Body Slam removes half of its health and paralyzes it. It's paralyzed on its first turn, but it survives our Body Slam and gets the chance to attack us next turn with Leer. What's up with the defense drops? Another Stomp takes out another one of our rival's Pokemon. Executor goes down from Fire Blast, which should surprise no one. So now we just have to take care of Blastoise. Thankfully, we're still looking good health-wise. Body Slam deals about 1/3 of its health and damage, but it will do less in the future thanks to Blastoise using Withdrawal. The next Body Slam does paralyze it though, so that will help. From here, we go back to spamming Stomp for a potential Paralysis Flinch combo. Doesn't happen, but also Blastoise never attacked because our rival was too preoccupied with buffing its defense. 2 turns later, and we win. After those grueling, stressful fights against Agatha and Lance, we destroy our rival and only get hit by one attack? First try, too. I didn't even know what the plan was there, bud. Regardless, we are Pokemon champions, and we only have one thing left to do in this challenge, and that is to defeat Mewtwo. Let's get going on that because I think we have a good chance. Fire Blast doesn't do much, but then again, Mewtwo has an insane special stat. It does burn though, so at least Swift won't hurt too much. Of course, Mewtwo likes Psychic, so he uses it. Yeah, that does hurt. Stomp helps, but Recover is annoying. But it doesn't really matter since a critical hit Swift soon takes us out. Okay, maybe that was a fluke. Let's try that again. We're opening with Body Slam, which is hitting a little bit better than Fire Blast, and Paralysis is probably the better status here compared to Burn. Mewtwo is immediately paralyzed and it flinches from our next Stomp. When Mewtwo finally gets to move in a turn, it uses Recover. Another Fire Blast and Body Slam get Mewtwo back to low health though. Mewtwo sets up a barrier, but our next Stomp is a critical hit that hits more than hard enough to take Mewtwo down. There you go, we beat the whole challenge. I don't really know how to grade Ponyta. It's a fire type that hits harder with normal moves than fire moves. Its attack stat was loads better than its special, making the somewhat one-dimensional moveset work better if you didn't focus on its own typing. I mean, it could only learn 3 fire moves in this game anyway, so you really shouldn't be focusing on fire moves that much in the first place. That being said, the speed and damage output were great in a lot of instances. Yes, Ponyta is a little bit of a glass cannon, it can't take too many hits, but once it hits its stride, Ponyta took out our opponents quite easily. It has a lot of potential. I hope you like this challenge. The next challenge I'm going to be doing is beating Pokemon Ruby with just one Trap Pinch. I haven't started yet, but I can already tell this is going to be rough. In the meantime, you can watch some of my other challenges, and don't forget to like the videos, subscribe for more updates, and please leave some comments about what you liked about this video, what challenge you would like to see in the future, and suggestions on how I can make these videos better. I could always use some creative output when it comes to making these. Thanks for watching everybody, and until next time, Geronimo.